Here we go with a few clips of what you're about to experience, which is an awesome podcast. We talk about music licensing, burnout, hormonal disruption, a winning marketing strategy, and how selling is uncomfortable. Here we go. And I've had people ask me, okay, I did all that. I started with the cost effective. What would I get next? And I always tell them, It depends on your business, right? They want an answer. Get this or do that, right? Well, maybe it's a microphone because of your sound. I'm not sure. Let me hear your workout, right? I'm not sure what it is for you, but let's have a conversation to figure that out. Out of like knee-jerk reactions, right? Because trainers get very uncomfortable with selling. And I'll say, when you solve a problem, that is what you are selling. You're selling by serving them with the solution. It's so much more comfortable and, oh, well, I can do that. Of course you can. Of course you can. Hi, Sunshine Moore here, creator of FitTech. We are the hub for virtual fitness instructors to learn technology and equipment solutions, plus sales and marketing strategies to successfully launch your online businesses. From our mini courses to our signature course, we bring education to you around the world. And when we do that, you go out and serve the world. And that is a mission that we can get behind. We'll meet you where you are ready. Maybe it's a mini course, confidence on camera. Maybe it's a 7-day challenge, how to set up your virtual studio. Or maybe you're ready for the signature course, how to successfully launch your online business, which includes not only all of the tech aspects, but sales and marketing strategies. We aim to build our know, like, and trust factor with you with this podcast. And also in each podcast, there are resources in the notes and ways to connect with us further. Please check the notes, reach out. We are here for you, FitPro. Today on the podcast, we have a great conversation with Melissa Merkle, and I am recording this bio after the conversation, and I'm glad I did that because I can tell you that this took some different turns than we both anticipated in such a great organic way. We had such a real conversation that many fitness instructors can relate to when it comes to your body, your health, your business goals in a really, truly behind-the-scenes type of way. I know you're going to enjoy it. You're also going to enjoy the show notes. If you go down there, there'll be a resource for you. You just click on it. You give me your email. That's called lead generation. And then you get the free resource, which is always helpful and related to technology for your business in successfully launching your virtual studio. Back to who Melissa is. Melissa Merkle is currently the Director of Partnerships and Business Development at Muscle Mix Music, coming to the position with more than 20 years in the fitness industry. Prior to joining Muscle Mix, Melissa worked with NPC and IFBB fitness competitors and later co-founded and served as CEO of Boomers in Motion, a senior fitness brand. As a multi-passionate health and fitness leader, Melissa has worked in various sectors of the industry and continues to offer online health coaching programs to individuals and businesses. She is certified as an ACE personal trainer and health coach and is an active member of WIFA. Without further ado, here we go. Here's Melissa Merkle. So let's help them build that from the ground up, Melissa. What are they asking you / Muscle Mix in terms of music licensing? We'll start there.
Okay, that is a great place to start because that is why we talk to people most of the time. They reach out about the licensing piece because it can be very confusing and there's gray area as well. And so even those of us that know the basics, there are still different scenarios that come up that are gray. And so let's start with live streaming classes because that is something a lot of instructors are doing, like a Zoom class.
Sure.
And there are, of course, other ways that you can live stream different platforms, but Zoom is the most popular. So live streaming, we define as you seeing them seeing you, kind of like a two-way thing, exactly what you and I are doing right here. So if you are doing a live stream class, we suggest that you use royalty-free music, although this is one of the areas that is somewhat gray. And before I go any further, I should say, as Denise always does, we're not lawyers, we are not attorneys. So by all means, like check with someone, to verify all of this, but this is what we have heard. With live streaming, you can really get away with using popular music. Even though we suggest royalty-free, if you use royalty-free, you're going to be safe for sure. But if you're just live streaming, you can pretty much get away with the popular stuff. Now, that's as long as you're not recording your class. When you start recording, that's when everything changes. But just live streaming without recording, you're pretty safe to use kind of whatever you want. If you record, that's when things change up a little bit. So if you record a Zoom class, or if you just film a class separately for an on-demand library and you're not seeing anyone, when you record, you need to use royalty-free music. But, and this is where it gets confusing, this is what a lot of people don't fully understand, is that not only do you need the royalty-free music, but you also need the licensing piece. So you need what's called a synchronization license when you record. And so that's kind of what I meant about not all royalty-free music is the same, because just because you have royalty-free music, that doesn't always mean you have the licensing piece to go with it. And so that is something that when I'm talking with people, a lot of times is unknown or a little confusing. And so that's something we really try to help people understand is there's a royalty-free piece, there's a licensing piece. And when you record, you need to use both. So
good to know. Now, how does one get that license?
That is a great question. For the plans that we have at Muscle Mix, we have some different levels of memberships. And so for us, our pro plan includes the royalty-free music and the synchronization license. So so for us, it's kind of bundled together in that pro plan. For other music providers, I would suggest reaching out to them to see if, a membership or the music package that you have includes it or not. They should be able to tell you.
Sure. I've seen this question a lot in a lot of different fitness groups I'm in, Melissa. Everyone's asking about music, right? If you don't have the subscription to the music provider anymore, do you have to take those videos down?
That is such a good question. And we get that question a lot. The answer is no. As long as you have the membership active, when you record, when you post it up, you do not have to take anything down. I can't even imagine if you had to. That would be that would be the worst thing. Like to even try to keep track of okay.
Which one?
Yeah, it would be a nightmare. So no, you do not have to take things down once they are up. If you let your membership go or you don't have that license anymore, you're still okay.
You're still okay. Because at one point you did pay for it when you had that music.
Yeah.
Which is why you had access to it in the first place.
Exactly. Yeah, that would be the worst. Can you imagine if you filmed all sorts of content and you had everything up on your website and then you had to keep a membership forever just to keep that stuff up there?
Right.
It would, that brings up a good point. You should definitely find out from your music provider if that is the case or not.
If it is, that'd be another competitive advantage that Muscle Mix has.
It absolutely would. Yes.
And about, I don't know, maybe 2 months ago, I got the email about the monthly plan. Do you want to share about that?
Yes, absolutely. So we had just an annual membership for our pro plan. And one of the things that also comes up a lot when we're talking with people, especially when they're just getting started in the virtual space, is the cost of all of the different things needed to make it happen.
Yes.
And so what we wanted to do, instead of having that annual payment right up front, is to break it down into monthly payments. So we do offer a monthly option right now, which has been working out really, really well for people as they're just getting started. It's, at a lower price point. So it's easier to swallow. And it also kind of gives you the ability to test out some different things. And, maybe you use it for 3 months and then find out, you want to make some changes. Well, it allows you to do that because it's, a month to month thing. There's no commitment.
Perfect.
So,
that is
yeah.
so smart. Meet people where they're at, right?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I was interviewing, I won't say who it was, it's not important. I was interviewing another platform for putting your business online, not the music platform, but a platform.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was not Arquetta, by the way. I told them it was not Arquetta.
Got it.
All in just to get started on the platform was almost $1,000. And I said to the gentleman, who do you think is going to purchase this and buy in? Nobody's dropping $1,000 on a platform from jump, right, to start their business. So I felt like there was a disconnect with where instructors are right now. And correct me if I'm wrong, but most instructors I run into are in it for the love of helping people, right? What do we want to make income? Yes. Should we? Yes. Do we need to charge our worth? Yes. But are we making $100,000 and can afford to drop $1,000 on a platform to start? Absolutely not.
Yep. I completely agree.
And it's not needed either, right? You can get a muscle mix subscription. I think it's $49.99.
Yep, it's $49.95.
$49.95. Yep. You can hop on Arquetta for $39 a month. Use your iPhone. Go get some earbuds from Target and go.
Yeah.
You can do this, right?
Yeah. Yes.
I've had people ask me, okay, I did all that. I started with the cost effective. What would I get next? And I always tell them, it depends on your business, right? They want an answer. Get this or do that, right? Well, maybe it's a microphone because of your sound. I'm not sure. Let me hear your workout, right? Maybe you need more lighting in your basement. Maybe you need help with your marketing strategy. I'm not sure what it is for you, but let's have a conversation to figure that out. We all have roadblocks, whether they're mental or physical or both, right?
Yep.
and
they usually are both.
Yes, right? Good for you for overcoming whatever objections you were having in your head or reasons. And like you said, getting started, starting small to grow, right? We don't have to have it all figured out. A lot of us, I'm raising my hand, would really like the plan to be completely written and just follow it to a T. But sometimes you have a sick day or you get a client reaching out to you and it's an opportunity that you don't want to miss or pass. So good for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that everything changes as you start moving down the path too. So I think it's like, you can lay out a plan and like go after it as much as you can, but also like be okay to change it up or, recognize what's actually like most beneficial for you, not only business wise, but also health wise, because I have found, and I've heard so many people talk about this recently too, is like burnout and just being so consumed by the work, because for so many of us, like we love what we do and we want to help people and we want to serve them. And if they ask us for something, we want to help them. But there's kind of that line of like, when is it helpful for other people, but hurting us because, you just don't have time for yourself type of a thing. So
absolutely. You're teaching 15 classes and then serving your 10 personal training clients, right? And where's your workout, your time? When are you filling your cup?
Yep.
Yes.
Exactly. That was something that was actually just discussed on the panel that Lauren and Mariah did. Mm-hmm. Some of the women were saying, the entrepreneurs that were on the panel, that when they first got started, it was almost like a badge of honor to like say that you were working all of the time. And it was exciting and it was good, but it got to the point that it actually wasn't healthy. And, like here we are as like health and fitness advocates, and we care so deeply about that. And we need to remember that for ourselves too, because sometimes we forget. We don't necessarily forget, but it just doesn't. We need to take care of ourselves as well, I guess.
Yes. 100%. I'll share for myself when I cut back from teaching 100 hours a week or whatever it
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
After 5 years, I finally got my period back.
Mm.
And I know that it was because my body actually had the time to rest once in a while. Whereas before it was, we teach all morning, maybe we do our workout before or after, then we teach at night, and it's just go, go, go. You're driving to gym. And then it became, we're teaching at home. For me, it was my brick and mortar studio and home. And it's just your body and your cortisol is on all the time, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
All the time.
It's really interesting you say that too. And I think a lot of women like in this space could probably relate to that. And I don't really hear anyone talking about that specific issue, but I think that it's probably a real thing because I know I have had similar situations as well. So
yeah, it's real.
Mm-hmm.
And when I went to the doctor, of course, they told me I had athlete triad syndrome. And I looked at him, I said, are you just telling me that because of what you know I do for a living? Or are you actually delving in and finding out what is going on, with me and my body?
Yeah.
So it's been a journey, and it's not done, but it's been a journey. Yeah. And
so what did they tell you? What did they tell you to do about that then?
Oh, they said, stop working out.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to do that. It's healthy for me.
Yeah.
We'll eat more. I eat plenty. Trust me. I recorded it. I've worked with a coach, my own coach, right? Saying, what is going on? And a lot of it was mental stress, right? The go, 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 serving everybody but myself. Mm-hmm. One of the things that I worked on with her is a morning routine. I actually start now with reading and water and taking some quiet time for me, and it calms the nervous system down before I go into the world and serve everybody else.
Yeah, for sure. So let me ask you, I'm going to flip roles here on you. Roles. So you were saying, that it was like all the mental stress. Mm-hmm. At the time, would you recognize it as mental stress, or did you just feel like busy and that was life? Does that make sense?
It does make sense. To some level, I was completely aware of what was going on. Mm-hmm. I was also completely unwilling to change it.
Yep. Got it.
Right. My income at the time was based on me showing up. If I didn't show up, I didn't make my income. And it took me a while to realize I could not sustain that as a life, if you will. It was not sustainable.
Yeah, that makes total sense. Mm-hmm. I've talked with a lot of people and have experienced it myself too, that we're busy, right? Like as a culture, we're busy, but busy. Teaching a bunch of classes or teaching from home, or, if you have kids or all of the things in life, we're busy. And for me, there have been times like people would ask if I was stressed, and it's like, no, I don't feel stressed. Like this is just life and it's fine. And like, I'm not upset by it or anything like that. And it's not until like I've been forced to slow down for other reasons that it's like, oh, I guess I really am under a lot of stress. And I've worked with clients too, and I'll ask, how their stress is. And they're like, I'm not stressed, but they're doing a gazillion things. And then something happens that forces them to slow down. And it's like, wow, I feel completely different. I guess, I didn't know how to label it as stress, I guess.
Sure. Or it feels shaming.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I work so hard. There's no way I want to say I will label it that, because then I might have to change it, and I don't want to. Right?
Yeah. And circling back to like what you were saying, if you didn't teach the classes or if you didn't show up, like you weren't getting paid. And so that is a whole other factor in all of that as well, because not only is it like, the shame or, the stigma of like, I'm stressed, I need to take a break. But then there's also that like financial pressure as well that just adds that other layer. So I think kind of bringing this all back to like the whole virtual training world and all of that, I think that so many people are leaning to that to try to create a business model and structure where they're, let's see if I say this right, the dollars are not dependent on the hours worked, right?
Yes.
Like you can make money while you sleep, as they say.
Definitely.
So
definitely. Yes. And make a schedule that works for the stage of life that you're in. Right?
Absolutely.
And I'll give you an example. After I read, then I go into my basement studio and I do my own personal workout. And I come upstairs exactly at 7:40 and I do my daughter's hair and I fly her out to the car. We call it flying. And my husband takes her to school. And it gives me enough time to come back in to teach my 8:00 client, or usually it's a live session, but even if it wasn't, I start at 8, right? I've already taken care of me, then I take care of my family, and then here's my 8:00. If I didn't want to teach at 8, I don't have to, right? If I want to teach at 9, I can teach at 9, or if I want to make it all virtual, fine, whatever, or on demand. The point is, at this point in my schedule, in my life, that's what I need. And I can only imagine if I were still working at Lifetime or Edge or Parks and Rec where I was at. It doesn't matter if my daughter's sick or needs me or misses me in the morning. I have to be at class, right?
Yeah.
I'm pulling out of the driveway at 6 a.m. or if you're the 5 a.m. instructor, you're pulling out at 4:30. Doesn't matter. But now we have a little bit more control, if you will.
I'm curious, when you are working with your clients and with people that are just getting started in the virtual space and you coach them on marketing, what are some of the approaches that you take with marketing?
Great question. I try to keep it simple. I could go very high level, but I don't think that's helpful. I keep it simple. First, we talk about their why. Why are they doing this? And then we talk about who. Who do you want to serve? They don't know that they need to serve one group, not everybody. And that it's okay that they'll actually build their business that way.
Yeah.
And does that tie back to why? So their why could be, I want to help the 9:30 mom crew, as I like to call them, to feel better about their themselves. Okay, wonderful. Let's connect that. Then your target market is the 9:30 mom crew, which I help them label that, right? And put, okay, tell me about her. And they will tell me about her. Great. Now let's speak to her. What does she want? She wants X, Y, and Z. That's where I teach them the marketing mix, the 4 Ps. What is your product? Meaning, what are you selling? We go through pricing. So I take them through a pricing model and we do a whole forecast. So it's not just what do you want to make per class, but what do you want to make per month? But what is your actual goal? And then I show them a positioning map. And a positioning map is quality of service and then price, right? And there are 4 quadrants. And I show them different options. If you're Planet Fitness, you're going to charge $10 a month. Okay, you're going to charge $10 a class. But if you're Lifetime, you're over here in this quadrant, high quality, high dollar, right? So I help them see, where do you want to fit based on who you serve? And I walk them through the 4 Ps like that. Now that we know your why, we know who you serve, we know what your product is, we know where you want to position it, so we know how to price it. Okay, now we can get the word out. So getting the word out, right, people think is marketing, but marketing is all these other layers first, right? So then we get into the marketing. And I help them put into words how they're going to solve the problem of the person they're serving. What is the problem that you're helping them overcome? Well, I'm helping the 9:30 mom overcome she probably has a weight loss or fat loss goal. I know you know the difference. And what she really wants is to feel more confident in herself. Yes, she wants the weight loss, but why? Talk to her confidence. Do you want to feel blah, 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 right? So I help them put words around that. Okay. And then I help them identify who you serve, what problem you solve, and how do you solve it. And once we get all that written out, and it takes more than 1 hour, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I say to them, okay, sell me. I'm your client. And I see a lot of like knee-jerk reactions, right? Because trainers get very uncomfortable with selling. And I'll say, when you solve a problem, that is what you are selling. So just ask me what I'm coming to you for, and explain how your solution will solve that. And you are selling by serving instead of selling for dollars. They got it. I love seeing the light bulb go on when I explain it that way, right? We're selling by serving them with the solution. Yeah. It's so much more comfortable and, oh, well, I can do that. Of course you can. Of course you can. Yeah. And that's how I coach them. So give them what they want, which is the technology answers, right? And then teach them what they need to know.
Yeah, absolutely. Because without marketing, you don't really have a business. You can't grow it because you can be like the best at what you do. You can have like all the technology put together and like perfect quality everything. But if people aren't coming and people don't know about you, then it really doesn't matter.
Right. I give them what they want. They want technology help. What cord, what camera. I can help you with all of that. But what you actually need is to know how to actually market your business, right? And once I've built my trust with you by helping you with all these other things, maybe I can bend your ear about marketing. Mm-hmm. That's my goal.
Smart. Yeah. It makes so much sense. Yeah. You made another comment about meeting people where they are. And that's exactly like what you're doing. You got to meet them where they are and then build that trust and lead them where they need to go.
Yes. Yes. I learned that years ago when I was a practicing psychologist. Everyone that walked through my door was at a different place. So we had to work together to figure out where that place was.
Yeah. So,
see, I never saw the conversation going this way, and I love it. It's so genuine.
I know. I've thought that about like a lot of the things we've talked about. Like, I didn't expect that we would chat about this, but
no, I love it. I love it too. Well, with the few minutes that we have left, I have some time if you have some time. Yeah. We've covered music licensing. We've covered instructor struggles, if you will, with taking care of ourselves. And instead of just taking care of everybody, we've talked about how I consult with clients on marketing. Which I appreciate that opportunity. You served me up. I'm like, I guess I'll talk about this. Thank you.
Yeah, I find it interesting.
Here's where I'd like to kind of button it up, if you will.
All right.
Let's talk about the future of virtual fitness. And and I'm sure you and Denise are having conversations and clients of Muscle Mix. And, I'm sure you're meeting lots of lovely people in the industry. Is there any consensus on where we're going with virtual fitness?
Wow, that is such a good question. And I wish I had like a really great answer for you. I think like the biggest thing that we've seen and like heard over and over again is that virtual fitness is here to stay, which I don't think is like a secret to anyone at this point. And where it goes, I think is going to be so fascinating because it seems like there are changes that are happening all of the time, like with the different platforms that are merging or new ones coming on the market, or platforms that are using like virtual reality for workouts. And there's a lot of creativity that's coming into the whole space right now. So I'm not sure where it's going to go because there are people that are far more creative than I am. But I think it's going to be creative and I think it's going to look so different. I think it's something that will absolutely continue to grow. Although I don't see like brick and mortar studios and gyms going away either, because there's that element of social connection that you can't get on virtual. So I think it'll be interesting to see how all of that plays together and how there is more of that social piece that is brought into the virtual world. So I'm not really sure, but I know we're going to see some cool things. I know as far as music goes, we are working on some cool things to be able to kind of change up the music offerings. Ooh. Because I know that royalty-free music is not always preferred. And so we are working hard to make some changes in that regards too. So I think it's going to be a really interesting journey. But I'd love to ask you the same question and what you see for like the future of virtual fitness.
Sure. Okay, I will put my money down here and hopefully not lose it. I do think virtual fitness is here to stay. I do think it's going to be a supplement to gyms, right? People are going to want a hybrid. They want people to take their group fitness class with, and that's who I'm speaking to in this prediction. But they also want convenience of some options at home when they need it. A challenge I do see and continue to see is for instructors to remain completely independent and to have a business that is sustainable. And that can be relative to what an instructor's goal is, right? Mm-hmm. I do see an opportunity for instructors to band together 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and have their own platform, right? Because we cannot be all things to all people. And it's something I'm trying to work towards with having 4, 5, 6 instructors on one platform, someone who's really versed in Pilates, someone who's versed in pumped up strength, someone who teaches athletes like myself, and make it a pop sugar fitness model. And I think that in that regard, instructors can compete. Otherwise, yes. I think that instructors are going to continue playing small, feeling small, and eventually burn out. Mm-hmm. That's my prediction.
I understand that. And I think you bring up a great point of like collaboration and working together.
Yes.
And I've heard that recently too from other people in the industry, that we're so much stronger when we work together.
Yes.
Instead of competing. And so finding ways to do that, I think is really important. And I think that makes a lot of sense and is a really great idea. And I think too, there are opportunities out there for people to connect with others, because there's people like you that know a number of fitness pros, as we do at Muscle Mix, as a number of people in the industry do. And there's organizations like WIFA for women in fitness and other networking groups too. And I think when people get plugged into some of these different groups, they really can meet other people that like collaborations just kind of happen naturally and can really grow. I think that's a really smart idea. It makes a lot of sense.
Thank you.
Of course. Like there's so much cool stuff in the fitness industry at this point. It's not just like teaching classes at a gym or doing personal training. Like there's so much more out there. And the more people that I meet and talk to, the more things I see and learn about. And it's like, oh my gosh, like it kind of expands like the possibilities in my mind. And,
yes,
I just seeing these things, like I want to support other people that are like growing these businesses or like going towards their dreams. Cause that's one of the things that I found that I love the best is like cheering people on or like believing in them when they like have doubts of their own. Cause when you're first getting started, like, you don't know if you can actually do it.
Right.
So sometimes you just need someone to believe in you when you don't believe in yourself. So I like being that person.
And you're great at it, Melissa.
Thank you.
Yeah. Where can people find you to connect?
That's awesome. So like I said, I'm most active on Facebook, actually. Okay. And I'm just Melissa Merkle at Facebook. You can also find me through Muscle Mixes. So Muscle Mixes is on Facebook and on Instagram, or email me at melissa@musclemixes.com.
Okay.
So,
And of course, I'll put that all in the show notes. You don't have to remember any of it.
thank you.
Thank you for your time and our connection. I love when we get to chat. And if there's anything I can do to help you or Muscle Mix or Denise or whoever you run into, just give me a shout.
I will. And thank you again for having me as a guest. This has been great.
Gosh. Thank you. This has been great.
I love it when we chat. Like, it's just so fun. And it's like very authentic, and we end up going places that are like all over the place, but I think it's great. And so thanks for this opportunity and for putting out this podcast too. You're serving a lot of people. And so thank you for that.
Oh, my pleasure. I just think you're awesome. And I
likewise.
Yes. And I feel very blessed to have met you.
Likewise. I feel the same way.
Okay. Thank you so much for listening. Be sure to check the notes for a resource, a free resource guide to something that you need for your business. The links to connect with us, whether it's Instagram or our website, are there. And then lastly, remember that we teach courses to help you get your business going. Right now, we're pushing the course Confidence on Camera, because before you can even start your business, you need to be able to push play. So check out that course and all of our other courses, like how to successfully launch your studio, in the show notes. Please connect. We'll see you soon.